Welcome everyone to another episode of Trek Talk with Tech and Kirk. I'm TechMan16.
And I'm StrangeKirk.
And I'm Handy.
Today we have a good show for you today. We've got someone from far, far away land, and literally far, far away from us. Overall in the EU, it's LordFarquaad. How are you doing today?
Good evening. I'm doing good, thanks.
Thanks for joining us today. So today I want to talk about you as a person, your Star Trek Fleet Command server. I want to get a little more information about how you guys have your rules of engagement or your mining agreement. And then I want to talk about what I saw on your show that first caught my attention is that you have on your server a 4-person alliance that was able to take a territory and almost swipe a second.
Indeed, it was very exciting. It was very exciting indeed.
But let's get started with you in general. How did you get into Star Trek?
Well, do you know what? For me, I'm how could I describe it? A in the closet geek. I don't look like a geek, but I full am. So from a young age, a lot of sci-fi stuff, a lot of all the different sort of sci-fi genres, really. But what really got me in was Next Gen. It was really in the 90s. That's what kind of really opened up Star Trek to me. But then that took me on to the likes of Stargate and Star Wars and Andromeda and everything, and Battlestar Galactica. So a lot of the space stuff actually that kind of got me going really.
What a series name drop, Andromeda. How did you enjoy that?
It was great until about season 5, where they completely messed it up and it had a really bad ending with them going to the other side of the universe and then coming back and changing time, and it all got a bit me. But no, I still enjoy it. I think I got it on DVD. I think.
I couldn't really get into it because at the time in the 90s I was so used to Kevin Sorbo as Hercules, and so I could not fathom watching Hercules in space. That was just so like off-putting for me when the show was running. I actually got more.
It was all about keeping an open mind.
Yeah, I was actually more interested in the other Gene Roddenberry property, Earth's Final Conflict. I thought that was a much better show, but it really went downhill after the first season or two.
Well, for me, I'm an avid watcher of multiple things, but the ones I described earlier were kind of the ones that really stick out to me, and I'd be happy to go and sit and binge watch from start to finish. As I say, did Battlestar Galactica the other week. Did all 5 seasons of that in the space of 2 weeks, and that was some good nostalgia going on there.
What about Babylon 5?
Oh, never really got into Babylon 5. Just never did. Same as Farscape. Same as Farscape.
Well, this interview's over right here and now. Fuck you.
Oh, Farscape. Come on now.
What about Stargate? Did you like Stargate?
Stargate. I love Stargate SG-1 and Atlantis and whatever the third one was.
Universe,
that's what it was, which they finished too early. I think it got into its own. Do you know what? It was actually very interesting because if you look at the way that sci-fi is now, especially with, say, for like Discovery, the Stargate universe went from being quite what the Stargate franchise was, where it was very play, big, happy, everything, and then Universe came and it was quite dark, a bit dreary, and that's kind of where Discovery kind of came in and went, do you know what, we're not going to do fun action pack, we're just going to do emotion and crying.
So I'm assuming from that response, you're not a huge fan of the new stuff.
Do you know what? I do like it, but but you have got to put a different head on. You can't. So, for instance, if you see Next Generation on, for instance, um, or even DS9 or something like that, you can sit there and you can watch the episode. You haven't really got to invest in it. You can just watch it. It's a single standalone episode. It's going to have some fun, some humour, some stuff that's not politically correct anymore. But then you've got to discover it. You've really got to concentrate for an hour. You've got to concentrate, otherwise you're going to miss stuff, and it's just sometimes it just gets a bit boring. But you want to go and see what happens next. It's just there.
It's like a dumpster fire that you can't stop watching.
Yeah, we're not big fans of Discovery around this camp. I think one was failed to be mentioned, and it hurts my feelings that it's not. It's probably one of the best science fiction shows of all time. Would be Firefly.
Firefly, oh, again, a show well ahead of its time. It was not understood. Sci-fi did not look after the property at all, and yeah, most people got to see it after it had been cancelled on DVD, for instance. But when it was played on TV, it was all played out of sequence anyway, because it was just didn't make any sense. But yeah, it was Firefly was really, really good.
I'll tell you this though, Firefly isn't going to come back now with the Joss Whedon thing. He is out of anything now.
Yes.
Well, for somebody that doesn't follow the tabloids, what happened?
I think every female actress for every show and movie that he ever did came out and said he tried to, touch me or whatever.
Gotcha.
Disclaimer: this is personal views, not factual.
Right. Yeah. Sure. My lawyers tell me that it's all allegations and there's nothing that's been proven. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. All that stuff.
I'm covering myself over here in the UK. Our laws are awful. You can see everything. You're going to get a divorce, you're going to get an annulment, or all the Europeans and all the guys from the States, all your celebrities come over to the UK because they know our rules are a little bit. You can play them. So yeah.
So switching gears a little bit, how did you get into Star Trek Fleet Command?
Well, do you know what? I think it was actually by chance. I was going through the App Store and I saw this big thing. I was like, what's this? And for me, I hadn't really done much gaming really since I was a kid. Really, don't have a console or anything like that. Played the odds. Used to play World of Warcraft back in the day, and a game I still don't know if it's running or not which was called O Game. So which is very similar in a way. It was very early version of what we are playing now. And yeah, I saw it and I was like, this looks interesting. Really cool videos. Let's download it and give it a go. So that was 3 days after, or 2 or 3 days after launch, back in November 2018. And 2.5 years later, I think the longest I've not been in the game, I think, is 6 days in 2.5 years. So yeah.
Wow, that's quite a streak there. So you're in server 147, which is a European server. How many people are on actively? How many people are on that server at any given time?
Do you know what? I think probably our active numbers based around what our server milestones are compared to others is small. So I would not say we've got any more than 500 active players on our server. It's dying a slow death. It needs a merge. It needs a new lease of life. It's touchy-feely. Just, yeah.
What do you mean touchy-feely?
Oh, God. How could I say it? My standard response for getting a message after hitting a miner is stop the crying, go back and mine some more for me. So, or hi ho, it's off to mine you go. So yeah, it's boring. It's really boring. All the same people raid each other. The same people get to bubble. Everyone's in TC space, and you got to do distance raiding, and just the PvP is down. It's just yeah.
So what level are you right now?
Well, actually, I went to Ops 40 2 weeks ago. Yeah, between just after the last arc, I went from 39 to 40 as part of my push into 41.
Okay. So about 500 people, which is pretty small, I'd say. So what can mine what can you hit? What can't you hit? Take through it.
What you can and can't do. Well, that's a very interesting. So we actually have we don't call it a row, we call it a mining pack. We have a very simple mining pack, really. It's do not hit a mining survey class vessel unless it is on a 0 node or has unprotected cargo. Before hitting a survey class vessel on a 0 node, you must send a personal message to the other player after the mining node is depleted 0 and wait for 1 minute. Survey ships in empty space are not covered by the mining pack, nor are other ships. A base hit is not a violation of the Monolith Pact, and revenge hits are not allowed under any circumstances. Then we have a good mining conduct. You should not hit a 0 node unless you or an ally intend to mine the node. So that's what our mining pack is. I.e., if you're mining your OPC, who gives a rat's, you're going to get hit. I don't care if you're 1 or a million, you're going to get hit. What the issue is that we used to have there was a gentleman's agreement in for deep space, so warp 40, back in the day of no hitting miners in warp 40. That then disappeared. That then moved into gentleman's agreement in dark space, and that's kind of in place. It's just you don't, like I say, you don't shit where you eat. Simple as that. So that's something we have to do. But what has happened is, because of the low pop that we've got on our server, and because of the PvP element within our server has decreased to 0, you go and hit someone in Borg space or in Swarm space or even in Eclipse. You hit one of those ships for OPC modules or nanoprobes, for instance. That could start a war. But then the war's just a war of words and bitching on Galaxy chat for a while. I'm called all sorts of names and stuff, and then it dies down. So yeah, it's
So no actual fighting. There's no actual fighting going on. It's just like we're just gonna cuss you out in GC, and then we're done.
pretty much. But
Wow.
what we've
That's
got,
amazing.
but what we've got. The interesting thing is we've got a number of alliances who are together as kind of coalitions and sisters and stuff. There's 2 independent alliances, which is TBE, which is the Borg Empire, and then there's the who follow the mining pack, and then you've got Chaos, which are the Chaos Squirrels, because that is our war squirrel that we have. We don't follow it. So have you seen the GIF with the squirrel that turns in and says war? That is our kind of our banner, really, especially on Discord. So yeah, and for us, we don't follow the server mining pack. What we do is, again, we treat others how we get treated. If somebody wants to hit me for OPC, who cares? I don't really care. I don't care. Whatever. I'll go and repair and I'll send the ship back out again. But you go and hit me up in I don't know, dark space. I'm coming for you, and I'm going to do 10 to 1. So whatever I've lost, I've got to get 10 back from your alliance. I don't care how. I'm going to do it. If that's from a base, from ships, or if I just feel like hitting some of your miners, or just hitting some of your Franklins or your sellers. It's yeah, I'm a bit like, well, like I say, I could best describe myself as Marmite or Vegemite for the Australians, or I don't know what you have over in the US. You either love me or hate me. Normally, when I'm in your alliance, you love me. When I'm not, you hate me. It's it's an interesting thing.
So how do you navigate the fact that there can't be that many active alliances on the server?
No, not really. So we've got so going kind of down through our power rating at the moment. So the number one alliance is Deal. So they've got 68 members. They're a German alliance, and they're the mining alliance, as I would say. They will have all their ships 24 hours a day mining, but they probably have the most jellies. They have the bigger ships on the thing, but they don't use them. They're collectors. They don't really like war. After that, you've kind of got TBE, who are just off behind. They've got 71. Then you've got the Wolf Pack, who are 68, and then you've got Chaos, which is 61 active members. Well, we say active. That's what we've got. And then you've kind of got a coalition of EMP, Legacy, Nest, and Pups, who, which is half the server, who don't hit each other. So there's not much out there really in regards to other alliances. We were actually having a conversation within our alliance chat yesterday about the number of alliances that we've been in, and we looked at it and went, actually, some of us have been in one. I've been in three. Majority have only been in two in 2.5 years.
That's not much moving around. I mean, I would say the average people on our server have probably moved upwards 4 to 6 times, would be my guess. And then a lot of the bigger players would probably have moved maybe two times, maybe 3.
Yeah, I feel like we have quite a bit of movement on ours because I think I was in Nord Wars most, and then Dark. So yeah, I guess 4 for me.
I think because of the lack of other alliances that are available, really, you don't have much choice anymore. I know that there's certain alliances who I would never go to, and there's certain alliances who would never let me in. So if I mess up this one I'm in, I'm probably gonna have to go solo, which will then just change the whole way that I play my game completely.
So you mentioned that you have Germans on your server. Do they speak English or do they speak German? And how do you guys communicate?
So on our server, we do have some smaller alliances. So we've got the big German alliance, we've got Deal, and then we've got their sister alliance, which is GOG, which is good old. I think they're still good old Germany. From there, then we've also got ESPA, which is the Spanish alliance, ITA, which is the Italian one, ESPA, which is the Spanish, ESPA Spanish, yep, French, yep. We've also got Rus, which is where the Russians are.
So people segregate themselves based on where they're from.
Do you know what? I think it's because of language and language barrier. So within Chaos and a lot of the, especially TBE as well, and the Wolf Pack, there's lots of nationalities, but English is the main language, as just kind of part and parcel. And if you don't really know your English, it's quite hard to really get going in the alliance and participating and understanding. So within the European servers, it's very different to the US servers. APAC servers are probably very similar to what we are, where it's very, you're an alliance, you kind of speak one language.
Actually, in the APAC, as far as I know, I haven't talked to many APAC servers, but a lot of the APAC servers are Australia based, and so
I thought they were Japanese and Asia orientated.
I would imagine so, that there would be some Asian countries like Japan and China or whatever, but a lot of the people, I guess that's where the language barrier comes in. We don't talk to many of those people and the people that I know on the Apex servers are Australian or Irish.
Yeah, yeah, that's the joys of the English language. So yeah, so our server has kind of segregated up and say it does. It's interesting because, for instance, Deal know that we're too lazy to use Google Translate. So if they're trying to talk to us or say something or send us love letters, they will do it in German. And we'll just say, sorry, don't understand. Bye bye. But so we do have that. But yeah, we can have multitudes of different translations really on Galaxy Chat from the different people playing.
It's really strange that the people have segregated themselves based on their language, and they've named themselves the most common version of their language, like RUS for Russian, or ITA for Italian, or ESPA for Espanol or Spanish. I mean, it's like there's.
Oh, do you know what? I forgot one. We've also got UNIT, which is the Italian commanders, which is IT. We have FRAP. What else have we got? And then there's just loads of single alliances from there. But yeah, so there are some small alliances. But yeah, and that's just the way it is. And I think that's it's probably a very European thing. You kind of, yes, the UK is not part of Europe. Well, it is, but not. And yes, they're all European, but they're all have their own identity and their own languages within this big region. So being able to communicate with your fellow alliance members is very, very important, especially when it comes to armadas and raids and just, I don't know, TC and chasing people and communicating of what you need to refine. And if you don't understand the language, it's going to be very difficult in that alliance to progress at the speed you could do. So yeah, they just amalgamating their own ones.
So did any of the alliances go to war with one another? Like, for example, did the Russians go to war with the Italians, and then you just see different language cussing out in GC?
Do you know what? It's been very interesting. No, they haven't. The main wars that have taken place during my tenure, there was a war between TBE and Deal. There was a war between, well, Wolfpack and TBE, Wolfpack and Chaos. The original big alliance that kind of depleted out and got swallowed up by the Wolfpack, which was UKGB, which then turned themselves into PHXA, which is the Phoenix Alliance. They had a big war with TBE. That lasted, for us, that lasted 3 weeks. And I was chief negotiator for negotiating that the end of that war. And that's when I was not in TBE. That's when I was in the Phoenix Alliance against war with them. I then decided, because of the war, I ended up making acquaintances over at TBE with communication. And a couple of weeks later, I left and joined TBE.
So a war is 3 weeks, or the biggest war is 3 weeks? God.
You're looking at 3 weeks or something. You may have some solo wars that will just be ongoing, but they're just a bit of rogues and they get bored after a while and just peter out.
Yeah, if you've listened to our previous podcast, we've had, and now it's squashed, but we've had a war that was going on for like 6 months.
I would love that. I would just love to be able to. I loved the war when we had when I was in Chaos and we had the war against the Wolfpack. I was mining with fortunes, and I loved it because I was just putting a fortune out in TC space. They were coming, blowing them up, and before they'd even cleared it, fortunes back out again, fortunes back out again, chasing around. And it's fun. It got you thinking. It was like, right, let's crack out the NS. Get up to deep space to do to deep space to get some quick mining done. Having to think about, right, when am I going to do my swarms? When am I going to do my eclipses? When am I going to do my Borgs? when I'm going to do my dailies. It was exciting, but it happened. It got done. It got rectified. What was that before? Yes, yeah. So yeah, I would like long wars, but I think our server would fall apart because they're not used to it.
So you really would need an infusion of players to create mayhem.
I think I say, it's something that I've been asking Ultimate DJ. Put a word in and and get 147 merged. I don't care with who. We just need some new blood. I need to raid some more people. I need to hit some more people. I need to be hit by other people. I need to talk to other people. We need to inject some life into the alliances, because currently at the moment with the faction hunt last week, so we got 61 members. Only 48 members out of that 61 hit a single hostile in that whole 3 days.
So I'm curious, are some of the systems, like if you go out to grind, I mean, are most of the systems just empty, or
Yeah, there's you got a handful of bases in neutral space. Nearly everyone's in TC.
like if you go
Yeah,
to Taiga Court or something, like how many people are in there?
3, 2 max. So when we were doing, so today I had the Parabellum event. I went down to Kronos, and there was 4 jellies in there. That's it.
Were they all active, or are there people just sitting?
Oh, they were just sitting there. I was nipping them from underneath a couple of people. We had some people coming in, but I think some were up in Romulus anyway, building up rep from that way, because a lot of the guys are going clean, I think, at the moment. So yeah, the number of ships that we have as a server is low. There's you can always find a mine. Simple as that. You can always find a mine.
Like no matter what, no matter where you go or what you're going after, you can always
Pretty
find a
much, you
place.
can so for instance, if you go to PJM, for instance, to go and get a mine, you can always go to Doska to go and get one. If you're up in if you go to Dark Space, even better, because there's a lot of people who get up there, but they don't mine up there.
So what about like the entry level deep space?
So yeah. So your independent ones down you warp 65.
Well, what about the first faction? I think it's like warp 56 maybe.
Yeah. It's starting to fill up as people are now moving into the realms of having to mine G4 for dailies on their rep. But you can go and do a mining event there, go OPC, and just do the whole lot there. You can sit there for 24 hours and nobody lit up.
So during Mining Monday, are any systems full anywhere?
Mining Monday does get a little bit more full, but you can still find a mine. If not, you just knock someone off a node and get on with it.
Well, right.
Because there'll be OPC or zero.
I'm just curious. I'm trying to like picture like how active your server really is.
Yeah, this just like I say, in my time in the last 2.5 years, I've set up a number of accounts on different servers. So I started off on a US server and another European server, because I was getting bored of the game and I needed something to keep me going. So I set up new accounts to go through that progression again, starting and using your Elsa to go to a level 2 system, to go and mine some trit. Like 100 trit you got to mine, and building up from there. And actually it was an interesting experience, because it made me feel like, do you know what, how much I hated back in the day where you were trying to find a two-star ore mine in neutral space. It was irritating as hell, but it was, you just don't get that now. It's just, you do your events, you get your dailies, chat to your mates, and you put your phone down. It's really bad.
Yeah, there's just not much PvP. There's not much hunting around.
No,
Like,
and the
heck, I
problem is
mean,
I don't.
whenever we
I,
have events, it's so, like, our server's so busy that, like, if you go into Borg space, try and hit Borg probes, like, half the time, like, whatever ship you target, somebody else is targeting it. That's how busy.
yeah, it's been a very, very long time. That.
You get to the point where, like, for example, last night my shield lapsed for about 45 minutes and I didn't get a notification. Well, somebody had started to raid me. They really didn't get anything. But, like, it took them almost 30 minutes to crack my base at level 41. And my strongest ship wasn't even home. And I had a bunch of weak ships set up, like miners and so forth. And so it just gets to a point where it's like, it's not like back in the day where you can sneak around and try to raid. It's like the risk versus reward ratio is just so far beyond what it was that it just ends up being the daily grind. Log on, what's the events, collect the rewards, do the dailies, turn it off.
Yeah, and you know what? For us, it's an interesting one because of the lack. Our server hasn't been closed. People can join our server, but no new people will go onto our server. So the number of Ops 20s, very little. The number of Ops 20 to 30, not a huge amount at all. Everyone is mainly between 32 and the top two are 49. But where everyone's getting to, so if you look at Scopely's roadmap of where they expect the average player to be at this moment in time, as you can tell by the introduction of the Jelly Brew blueprints coming in, they're pushing people towards 39, 40, 41. And we have a lot on our server who are coming up to that progression curve. And so yeah, raiding is a pain, and it takes hours. And the chance of somebody being offline for 10 hours so you can raid 5 billion resources or something, no chance. Just doesn't happen.
Yeah, not to mention it's just so much work to do it now because of how strong the bases are.
Yes, indeed. Stick an auger in there and yeah, have fun with that one because those things are indestructible.
Or a Kelvin. Put a Kelvin as base
Well,
defense.
look for example, one of our resident, we call it the game bully, right? He knows that I'm saying it in jest, but talking about Key, he came yesterday, and so I wasn't prepared for being raided. Well, I repaired, and a bunch of people blew up. Well, he came up to hit my base, and then he blew up this pylum, this 20 mil pylum that probably cost $500 million tritanium to repair. And so he came back, and by the time he came back, he damn sure wasn't going to get through because I had put up 2 jellies, an auger, an enterprise, and a D4, and that's the thing. It's just like, geez, oh Pete, I know I can inflict some damage, but the repair bills on these ships just become astronomical.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd say it's very much when you're raiding, you have to think about how you raided back in the day. So it was about risk and reward. So before the buffs, and it was you were doing it with what's the 2-star battleship you were getting or something to raid with before
like a Kamari or something.
Yeah, all of those types of things. You had to think about it because there was the research. If you think about the research now, that the amount of buffs that are in place to increase ships or increase repairs and cost, back then it was huge because the amount of influx of resources in the game was tiny. Looking at it now, like you could start up and you could rush through to Ops 30 in less than 6 months, where it probably took me, a year and a half, probably get to 30, because it was very different back then. And raiding now is very similar to that. You've got to think about, right, what's my repair bill going to be? What's in that? And what's the chances of me getting it? How long is it going to take me for? How am I going to get am I going to have to defend? Am I going to need my alliance colleagues to come in and help? Yeah, are we going to raid this neatly, or are we just going to be clicking like idiots and not maximizing the hit for every second, every 7 seconds? So there's lots of different things you got to think about back in the day to now. Really, it's just now it's bigger and more frustrating.
Well, back in the day, I remember when I was hitting hostiles, I would have to plan out what ship I would use so that the resources I would get from hitting hostiles would be greater than my repair costs of my ship. Now, it just doesn't matter because one of the events, for example, one of the daily recruit events where you got to recruit so many shards, I mean, I get 10 million tritanium just for shards.
Yeah.
And I know it's pretty easy to complete. And so I'm just like, well, my Saladin at level 33, even if I blow it up 3 times, still takes less than 1 million tritanium to repair. So it's just like I complete one event that's easy, and then on Sundays I complete another event that gives me another like 20 million tritanium. Well, now I could go for days just bashing my Saladin into hostiles, and it doesn't matter anymore.
I'm actually a little bit poor at the moment on Trit, so I've only got 116 million in base at the moment. So
No tokens.
oh no, tokens. I've got like 5.2 billion in tokens, but I don't use tokens. I try to save them. Same with par as well. I try my best to not use tokens because I'm a bit of a token hoarder. Because I know that I'm going to need them at a later date. So I will probably use my tokens to level up my jelly on the next spend event.
Now, are you free to play, or do you spend on the game?
Do you know what? For me, I'm not free to play at all, but I'm not a big spender at all. I will buy the battle pass, the £20 or the 19.99 battle pass, and I may, depending on a pack, I may buy a 99 pack. But other than that, it's all grind, and more grind.
Gotcha. So I think that's where most people fall. The majority of people are similar to you in that they occasionally spend and buy the battle pass, and that's about it.
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm looking at something and thinking, oh, you know, that's got some really good resources, I know that I'm going to need 4-star common, or for my academy, for instance, I need 12,000 of it, and that's going to cost 112,000 of that if I want that. And thinking, oh, I can get that in a pack. What else do I get out of it? And I will think about it, look at it, weigh it up. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? It's never worth it. It's ones and zeros. But will it help my progression? And yeah, so that's kind of the way that my spending habit is. I only ever buy the battle pass at the end of the month, literally the day before end, and I just cash everything in all at the end.
Do you do the monthly pack?
No, I don't do the monthly pack either.
I do the monthly pack once every 3 months. I extend it out 3 months for one monthly pack.
The only reason that I've been doing the monthly pack is because if you look at the monthly pack at this point, obviously once you get up to like 40, 41 and beyond, par steal actually becomes an issue. So if you look, the amount of par steal you get in those is a lot of the times almost double than what you would get in a station pack. So you actually end up getting more bang for your buck as far as that goes.
Yeah, well, they've got the special pack at the moment, which is the Shuttle Bay building, and for my ops 40, what's that? 15 billion parcel in that pack for 100 pounds plus 120,000 lat as well, which will become very useful.
I was gonna get that one, but because I spend occasionally, so I'm very reserved on what I spend on. But at this point, I was a little behind on ship power, so I went ahead and dropped the pack on one of the Explorer packs so I can bump up my jelly to the next tier because I need to get my ship power up there at this point.
Yeah, don't we all need to?
So you're level 40. Your pack for that new station, I call it the timeline station, is 15 billion par steel. I'm a
Yeah.
level 30. I'm a level 33. My $100 pack is 770 million par steel. So
But you know what? You look at it and you go, that's massive, but relative to the economy and the spend and what needs to go. Yes, we all want more, but yeah, I'd love a pack where it's just, I don't know, 100 billion par would be great. I haven't got to worry then for at least a week or so. We burn through it all. But yeah, it's a tough one because you look at the packs and we've got to say the guys in our alliance where we've got the 46s, they were getting stupid amounts, and I don't even want to think about how much the 49s were getting in that pack.
Handy, what's the 49 get in that pack?
In the, let me pull it up. So which pack again?
The station pack, the building, the shuttle bay building.
It's probably around 50 billion, but let me double check. I remember looking at it and going, well, that's not really worth it. Because most of what you're trying to get in the pack, I think, is stuff to help you out. Like what? It's the credits to start more, or to do the research, right?
Right. Yeah. Or that's to start the away missions.
Well, the way I figure it, if you use the speed up pack, the away mission speed up pack, now you can just complete the missions super fast, and you're going to get a lot more resources through the actual mission
Right.
than
Right.
you
Well,
would through the pack. But
just for comparative purposes, how much par steel would you
it
get for that?
is 60, 70, 78 billion.
78 billion par steel at 1149. Yeah, that goes quite a bit from level 33 at 770 million to level 40 at 15 billion to 67 or 78 billion in level 49.
That's like the equivalent of paying £100 for a Gary Mitchell chance.
There you go. The Gary Mitchell. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on from that, and I really want to get into this 4-person alliance, pods, right? PODs.
Yes.
They are a 4-person alliance, and they took a territory. And on your channel, What the Farq, check it out on YouTube, What the Farq, and spell it incorrectly, I'm sure it'll come up just fine. They almost took another one. They were close. They almost took 2 territories with 4 people. How does that happen?
Yes.
And again, hold on. Just to put this into perspective, Nona on server 34 has 5 players that are level 50. You take those 5 players, and Handy's 49, by the way. So you take those 5 players that are level 50, and you say, okay, let's make their own alliance, call it Nona Elite, and have them try to take a territory, and they won't get near anywhere close to any territory that they're trying to take. So the fact that on your server you got 4 people that almost took 2 is just insane.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, it's about perspective with regards to server size. So we haven't contested a TC since they were 1. Everything's set in stone now. Simple as that. Everyone's where they are. Maybe one of the smaller alliances may pop from one star to another 1 star. There might be some swapping and changing. So you get very complacent. And we try to, as an alliance, a chaos, we try to ensure that we get as many ships in every single defense as possible. But what this scenario came about was so our one of our resident 49s, which is Mr. DW Pickard, he was bored, and so he came up and this idea of, can we take an alliance from underneath the noses? And so yeah, it was. Firstly, there was a lot of studying. So you've got to study people's patterns about their defenses to work out if they are sending lots of ships, where they are they in alpha, are they in beta, the types of ships as well. And then from there, it was all about when do we go? What number of points needs to be accumulated by the defending alliance as a max before it can happen. So if for those that have not watched the video I've put up, it's 4-man takedown, or I think if I remember correctly off the top of my head. What the scenario from there was, we got the 4-man alliance, and then we had also TBE as backup as well for clearing. So we waited and waited and waited and waited, and at 14 minutes past the hour, so 14 minutes into the takeover, all ships went in. So they went in to take the capture nodes. They set themselves on, then TBE came in and cleared everything else. So any other defending ship that may have been scrambled, it took the best part of 5 to 10 minutes for the defenders and their allies to scramble. By that time, the capture nodes, which were the big ships, were into overdrive, which means that they were getting max points, and then that went into us stealing the territory from them. It's as simple as that. And then we did push our luck. I say for us as a scheming, bored individuals that we all are, we tried to go for the second GOG system as well. But there was a bit more of a defense this time. We had GOG, we had Russ. There was the Wolf Pack were in there trying to defend as well. So then on the pod side, there was Chaos and TBE, all getting in there, and it was the first PvP in such a long time. There was lag. We don't experience lag on our server because nothing happens. So there was lag. You couldn't get in. There was just what are we doing? Just click everything. Is there something that we can blow up? And it was very exciting. And the DW is now, everyone has to keep on their toes, because you never know when he may just pop up just before overdrive and nick a system from you. So yeah.
So they literally had no ships in system, which is why they had hardly.
I think they had 6 ships.
Oh wow! Yeah, no wonder you just went in there on overdrive and took it.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And because it was a surprise attack, we didn't do it at the 0. We did it like 14 minutes in, so they accumulated some points. They're not really checking up on it. You can't see what's going on in your space unless you're in it. So for them, it was a big shock when all of a sudden somebody else has joined the takeover. And because their biggest, say that GOG's allies are Deal. What do Deal do all day? They mine. Where do they mine? They mine all over the place. So they had to get all their mining ships back so that they could then get up to warships to then send in to try and defend.
Yeah, and then by the time they do that, it's over.
Exactly. So it was all about the surprise attack. And following the video being published, a number of servers did contact me. One said, "Thank you very much for the idea. I'm going to be trying that." And another one said, "Now I understand what was going on and why that whale was doing that." So yeah, it's giving people ideas about how to make the game a bit more fun, and rather than just doing your daily stuff, and you got to be on your toes all the time, just in the same way as I know if you're in TC now, I say, I'm in TC at the moment. Have I got a bubble on? Nope. Am I going to get raided? Nope. But you still got to be on your toes.
That is very interesting.
No, I mean, I would imagine that's as exciting for us as on our server. We recently did what do we call a no emotions PvP in one of the level 1 systems, where everybody on every server, we talk to enough people, and everybody gets butthurt that their ships get blown up. I mean, it happens everywhere. Like, dude, you touched my warship. It's called a warship.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've had people complain. So you know how basically they'll create an event for a certain bracket, so level 43 to level 50, and there's one system that's PvP. And if you go into that system, you can either grind hostiles or you can bring a PvP crew and you can hit other people. So we actually have people complaining that they were in the PvP system. Now, granted, there's 6 other systems they can pick from that aren't PvP, but they go into the system that's the highest level because they get points so fast. Well, they're in there with a PMC crew, and they're getting blown up by other players, and they're bitching about it.
Yeah, no, don't worry. We had with the Rescue the Crew event yesterday. So the 41s. It's nice that they've taken away the Pacific ships, which is really good because people were going in there with Saladins and Vortices thinking they're going to be protected, but they're not, which was amazing. But what we actually found out was that a lot of our players, what we were doing was we would put our disco at the top. Nobody would touch a disco. Simple as that. And it was just come in, fight, repair, come back, because the event was done 10 times faster than trying to hunt the little 31s or 37s Klingon fighters. So yeah, for us, when we do have an opportunity like that, but then I've got a couple of dick emojis, or as you call them, eggplant. What is it? Aubergine emoji, eggplant thing, whatever. But other than that, because they didn't know, because they don't read the event.
Yeah.
Read the event, and you go. If you go into the danger zone, expect to be blown up.
Of course.
What I was getting at is we organized an event just between the players where we go to a level 1 system, and you can bring any ship you want, any warship. You can hit 2 levels below you and unlimited levels above you. And so I found a few couple of 33s, and to your point, Lord Farq'ed, was that you had a territory capture that kind of shook things up on your server. That was like peace and healthy population of a server. We got several thousand people that are active, but everybody has drama about something. And so this was fun where it was no drama. And then I wish more events were like that. And if people have suggestions on how to have no drama PvP, because we love blowing shit up. Everybody loves blowing shit up.
The best no drama
right?
PvP event were when you were using little ships that cost nothing to repair. Those were fun. But the problem is that doesn't help Scopely make money, so they stopped doing them.
Yeah, brilliant. What happened to the Rialta rumbles that were happening?
What happened is Scopely decided they weren't making money off of it, so why do it? That's exactly what happened.
So at the moment, the most PvP you can get is if you decide that you might want to go and do some crew testing, and you ask a couple of alliances, send a ship with X on the bridge or something like that, and you test your ships, and we blow up. There you go, done. Thank you. Do some testing, get some data, and yeah.
Andy, I'm thinking this is something we should set up where just designate a system. Everybody on the server gets proliferated the notice that in like 2 weeks, this system, 2 levels below, unlimited levels up, is PvP anytime, all day, every day.
People have tried to do these events a lot. I don't know. I know for me personally, I wouldn't go. Mainly because, it's fun and all, but I don't know. The competition is never as fierce as when it's a real event, For
Yeah,
me,
but
anyways.
if the
I'm
competition for an event is to blow up ships, you're gonna get people more butthurt over the fact that their ships are blown up.
well, I don't care if somebody's butthurt. I mean, if somebody's acting butthurt over that, then they're just being silly. I mean, it's a PvP event.
For me, I'd rather raid a base or be defending a base. That's the most fun that we have because you've really got to think about it. You got to be strategic. You've got to think about who you're going to fight, who you're going to move to, who you're going to stop, and the risk and reward again. That is great PvP. It's close combat. It's all in one area. You could get multitudes of different alliances together, and it's a spur of the moment. You get stupid cute, crew setups with whatever they've just thrown together. That is the most fun that we have, and that's why I try to. If I see for my channel at this moment in time, if I see any raiding taking place and defending, I will now screen record that because it's a great learning experience for the alliances taking part as well. They've got proof of it and see what they can do better the next time.
I think the most fun I would probably have in a PvP event is at some point in the very near future, the top alliances that have the choice territory capture areas, they're just not going to need to be there anymore. Like they're going to have all the materials they need to do all the research, right? So once you've reached that, I think it would be fun to kind of coordinate a bit and see if just pick an alliance for the month and see if you can take all their territory. That would be fun.
I think one of the things that we're looking forward to, and potentially if we do ever get a merge, is that the resetting of territory space.
Yeah,
that
would
is
be
an
fun.
exciting prospect.
It would
having
be
to
actually
do that
really
again.
fun if we could get it to maybe once every 6 months it just resets, planned thing. That would be pretty freaking cool.
Yeah,
that would be way cool.
And you got to go recapture it all over again?
Yeah. I mean, think of how much fun that would be.
I mean, I'd be down.
I think it'd be great. I mean, I think it's something we could even probably coordinate, even if we don't get forced to do it, we could probably coordinate it, at least to the point where when people have everything they need, it just doesn't matter anymore, right?
Sure.
Aside from being able to mine, but, whatever.
So going back, I saw your 4-person alliance video, and so that's why I reached out to you. And then, soon after you put out that video, I think you went on every freaking Discord of every server and solicited information or videos, like submit it to me, I'll post it on my channel. Yeah. And I got to ask you, what have you learned so far from other servers, from other players, from other videos that you've posted?
What I've learned is that
besides being a spam bot,
I've been banned from a couple of servers, which is fine, whatever. Your loss. I've had some people who get some constructive feedback. Some people love it because what they're watching is just pure action. And it's very different to the other content creators currently out there where there's a lot of talking, there's a lot of telling how they should do it, rather than just what actually happens. And they haven't got to go through a whole live stream of book, and they can just sit there and watch. Some people have said, well, I don't understand the context behind it. Well, why is this happening? So I'm looking at that at the moment in changing the presentation style. And now that I've spoken and people know my voice, It's now time to get myself a LordFarquaad avatar, and start doing some talking, I think. But you don't want to listen to me.
Right. And yeah, and then you need the scrolling Star Wars banner saying in a galaxy far, far away on server X, these two alliances.
Well,
These
do you
two
know what?
alliances.
It's something interesting. Some like I've had a couple of people who have said, "I love the retro beginning. It's proper. It's proper retro with your retro gaming beginning." And I've had some of just going, "It's shit. Where's the kabaz? Where's the Rev Juice in it?" That's not me. He Rev's Rev. I'm me. So yeah, it's interesting.
Does he even do anything in game anymore? He just makes videos on.
Do you know what? I highly respect what he does, because say he was kind of that he wasn't content creator number one, but what he was the content creator that brought it to the masses, really, and opened people up outside of our bubble. But when he got kicked from the Scopely program, I think that he got a bit hurt a little bit. But he's come back, and yeah, it's his living, and I think he does a good job at what he does. Bit American for my liking, but that's all right. I can listen to Old Man DJs, and he puts me to sleep sometimes. But don't tell him that.
Wait, did you say Rev is too American?
He's a little bit yee-hawy for my liking.
Shout out to all the Louisiana people that just got butthurt by LordFarquaad.
That is awesome.
It's like, some of you will die, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Simple as that. But yeah, so for me, this is a new thing for me, and it's about bringing real life gameplay into, so people can watch, people can learn from watching other servers, and because each of our servers, we're so siloed, we don't even think about what other servers are doing. And as we were having this discussion today, we were talking about population. We were talking about PvP and the differences of just me going and doing my dailies. I can pop up to one system and go and do my faction dailies in one go. No questions asked. I go and do my Borg as well. Nice and easy. Same with Swarm. Easy on a Swarm day. But then yourself, very different. So getting people to have a perspective of what 147 PvP is like and raiding is to show that there's these dying servers, but we're trying our hardest to do what we're doing. And this is the reason why I put this kind of invitation out to everybody and said, look, if you've got a really cool battle going on, record it, send it to me. I will Farqify it up. There you go. TM that. I'm going to Farqify it up. Make it a bit retro, and you can show off your server. And I say there's something that I've been in my mind that I really want to do, and it's a series called A Day in the Life of. There's a lot of people who are new to the game, but then there's a lot of older players as well, at all different levels. And we never really remember what it was like to do that daily grind when we were in our 28s, or when you were an Ops 15, or for an Ops 15 to go, God, what's it going to be like when I'm an Ops 30? So I really want to put a series together where I can kind of get recordings of what you do in a day, all the way from 15 all the way up to hopefully 50. I don't need to see purchases, but just what's your grind like? What's your mining like? What do you do? So it gives a good breadth and overview of our community, and all the different servers and levels that we are.
Yeah, and I'm more interested in the politics that people get involved in on every server. That's why.
Yeah, the politics are the interesting part to me.
I try to stay out of politics because for me, I cause trouble. I don't purposely cause trouble. I just seem to be able to start wars. I can start yeah. Yeah, there's
No, but I mean that's a necessary thing for a server because if everybody is just playing Farmville all day, where's the fun in that? Then why are you playing this game other than the fact it says Star Trek? You know,
yeah,
it's there is an element of PvP, and Scopely has done a really great job of trying to suppress it in favor of people spending money to do PvE stuff.
mm,
But it's still a part of our game, and it is the most exciting to you, and it's the most exciting to me because it happens so infrequently, and all of a sudden all this drama and backlash start. It's as I said before, somebody on server 12 posted this video or a previous podcast in their dumpster fire conversation on their Diplo server.
yeah,
But what it did is it got that server talking about their own internal stuff,
yeah,
as well as, hating on the players that came on the show or whatnot. But it's out of the norm. It
yeah.
completely is like, wait, this isn't what happened in the past. No, 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 no. Or this is, wait, no, that's right. Go ahead.
What was I saying?
Toxicity and stuff.
Yeah,
The
so
tux-
I was going to ask, following on from the toxicity, it's a proper
well, I
English
was.
word that I find it bad. Do you have how could I best describe it? Do you have a shit stirrer on your server? The one person who just grinds everyone, who could just start a discussion and an argument and then disappears. Just really gets everyone wound up, or just you just know
We've
that person is just
we've got about 50 of those that are all talk, but we've only got one or two that are powerful enough to make a difference in the game.
Yeah. So to what Handy's saying, there's a lot of people on there that pretend that they're someone, but they're such weak players that like we can't even touch each other because that's how low they are, and they fancy themselves someone important, but really nobody cares. You know, it's like the kid, it's like a toddler telling you a story. You're just like, oh, really? Yeah, that's great, buddy. Like nobody cares except for them.
Yeah, well, do you know what? On 147, it's how could I describe it? It's pretty much the Wolf Alliance. They're all a bunch of shit stirrers. His thing is, can I have the key to my cage to let me out so I can go solo and blow your ships? Oh, whatever, just go away. Yeah, but there you go. That's a whole. That's me and him go back a long way. As alliance buddies, I supported him, went to war for him, and then kind of stabbed him in the back really, and went because I knew what he was like to jumped alliances, and then yeah, he disrespects me quite a lot. But there you go. That's a whole different story. We could have a whole conversation, a whole show on that. You want to do a follow up?
We have a couple of those players that routinely get kicked from the Diplo server for just starting shit for no reason.
Oh, but he's not. He doesn't get kicked. He's not like that. Uh, his big gripe was back in the day. You had the refund frenzy that went on with the pay flower and everything from there, and he held this against each of those people who may or may not, or he thought of, got a refund, and he made their life hell, and a lot of people left because of him. But he still
What
holds grudges to this
what
day.
what was that refund frenzy?
So what happened back in the day was there was what was it? I think it was the Mayflower got released, and then it got nuked, and everything was changed, and people had spent loads of money. People had spent loads of money on the game. I think this was probably what we're talking 2019, mid 2019 probably. And people were getting refunds from Apple and Google for thousands of pounds, thousands and thousands of pounds. Some ran, some reinvested it back into the game. Those that reinvested back in the game, this one individual decided he's going to make it his mission to either get them to leave or to make them feel awful. It was really bad. Doesn't do it as much nowadays. but it was a bad time really on the server.
But did he get a refund?
I can't agree or disagree with no comment. There we go. We'll leave it at that.
Okay. All right. But he made it his personal mission to go after people who got a refund.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, because he thought that they could reinvest and be higher power than him. Is that the deal?
That's correct.
So he was butthurt that he didn't get the refund.
No comment.
Okay, fair enough. Hey guys, I gotta run. It was great meeting you,
Great meeting you too.
Lord, and I will hopefully we'll get to talk to you again soon. Take care, bye.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Sandy. Take care. Yeah, Kirk, do you got anything else?
Do you know what nemesis means?
Nemesis. My nemesis would technically be classed as Shrek, or the fire-breathing dragon, depending on which one you want to do.
Oh, come on. It was a Snatch reference, really? Did that really go over your head?
Do you know what? I have not watched Snatch in a long time. I'm more of a Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels than Snatch. But
Yeah. That's good too. But yeah, man. Okay, never mind. No, I got nothing now. Shit, I'm ruined.
Ouch.
I've killed the conversation.
You've killed it hard. So do you plan? How long do you plan on doing all your videos?
Do you know what? For me, it's time constraints really at the moment. It takes a long time to edit them up and to just get the right music and just it's a lot of work. I would like to get someone to do it for me. That'd be amazing. But for me, I'd like to keep on going. As if people are willing to provide me with content of stuff they like to see or major events that have taken place on their server, wars or I don't know, someone being an absolute penis and going and clearing the whole of Federation space of every miner. That's great viewing. It's amazing. It's a dick move, but it's a great viewing. Send it to me and let's get it done because this is what happens on a daily basis. These little battles, the big epic stuff doesn't happen very often, but these little 20-minute, 30-minute battles where it's just PvP or someone being a right old idiot. That's the real game. It's not just doing events, hitting reds.
I should get our guys to record some of their battles because we're I briefly touched upon it on the last podcast. On our server, we have a little issue going on with the resources rated leaderboard, and so our guys are out trying to raid other people as much as they can, so that they pass the number one dude on a leaderboard. And there's still speculation going on whether those numbers are quote real or
the top guys are never real. The top guys are never real. That's an empty base. Someone's left. Drain me. Most people at the top of the list are not pure raiders. They are.
What's funny is that the two guys from our alliance, they're really pure raiders. I mean, they went around and they really raided everybody else. And I can't recall like the last time that we had somebody leave in our alliance, he let everybody raid him, but I don't recall seeing those two guys in the raiding party. So
and even then it was like 30 people. So how much are you really going to get?
True, absolutely. But I would say they're as close to as pure raiders as anybody on the server in terms of their resources rated total.
Yeah. See, for me, my resources rated is low. I'm at 1.7 billion, and I'm like number 46 on the table. But my power destroyed, I'm at 11th, which is all right, which has 179 million. Nothing big and to be proud of, but it's yeah.
Yeah, and then there's debate going on our server on, I don't know if it's really a debate, but the top guy, he's got his power destroyed mainly from blowing up a bunch of miners. Now he blows up a bunch of warships because he's more powerful. But he's got 3 billion in power destroyed.
3 billion.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's enough people that have complained that he only got his power destroyed from blowing up a bunch of miners, defenseless miners that apparently have weapons. In any case, but my most fun time raiding was when I was in the lower levels. It was like 15, 16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
That's when you could really raid yourself.
Yeah,
Whereas now,
absolutely. You used to crack a base with an NS with your North Star, and then one shot it. 5-minute bubbles. Do you remember 5-minute bubbles?
no, I didn't. I wasn't there for the game with their
Oh, 5-minute bubbles. I wish they would return. Oh, so much better. It was. Oh, do you
Yeah,
know the
for us
reason
it was
why it was from 5 to 10?
why?
Because people weren't getting notifications, and which didn't give
Oh,
enough time for someone to get back onto game. So they moved it to 10 minutes. So they expect that within that 10 minutes you would have picked up your phone and bubbled.
and now there's no notification because I don't get any notification if my base is hit.
I don't
So
know.
that's
I don't
great.
even remember the last time a base was hit.
Well,
Don't remember.
I believe it's an Android versus Apple thing. So I have an Android phone, and I get the only notifications I get are if my mine has been depleted, if I have a 10-minute shield is going to come down, or not a 10-minute shield, but my shield is going to expire in 10 minutes, and uh, and if I have a building or research that is done, but that's never usually correct. It's always like late by a day or two. And I believe that's the only notifications I get in the game.
Wow. You should. My better half. She definitely. My Princess Fiona, if you want to call her, or Mrs. Farq'ad. She knows when there is an Armada event on, because my phone is flashing like bloody New Year's Eve, all day and all night, because there's just notifications all over the place. So yeah,
Yeah, that's like a day in our alliance. Like if I still had Armada notifications, they would be going off on like every 10 minutes or so.
I
But
think
I
I've
don't.
missed while I've been on here. I think I've missed a lot of Armadas, but that's fine. They were all Eclipse ones, and I'm not working on Stellar at the moment, so I'll put that on the back burner. Want to do other stuff?
All right, man. Well, I got nothing else. If you want to take the
No,
floor,
no. But you know what? For me, I'll give you my final thoughts. Yeah, much appreciated for the invitation on coming on the show. Much appreciated. Hopefully, what I've done is open the eyes to your listeners to what happens on other servers, the differences in the US servers and the EU servers, the large populated servers to the long-standing dying servers that I'm on, and just how we are trying to survive. But also, it's just like, I'm here for the community. I'm here to show your epic battles. Show what you want to be proud of. That you want to kind of shout about your server. I'm here for you. So yeah, get in touch via Discord or Facebook or Twitter or YouTube. So what the Farq, and I will do my best to make a lovely video for you.
and I think in the last podcast, DJs gave you like 3 shout outs.
Oh yeah, because he messed up the beginning so much. So I think I put 147 3 times. He just kept on shouting me out. I'm like, I got no issues with that. Yeah, no, DJ's good. I speak to DJ every so often about certain things. He's helped me out on a couple of things as well. So yeah, great knowledge. He's again keeping it opening it up. And this is the thing about different content creators, and I don't class myself as one of those at this moment in time, but we all do our things differently. we've all got different elements and different ways of doing things. I think everyone just needs to keep an open mind, and to view and just to take it all in, just in the same way as different podcasts as well.
Well said. And thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
All right, guys. I hope you had fun. Check out Lord Farquaad's videos, What the Fark, on YouTube, and send him shit so he can be inundated with stuff to do for a very long time.
That'd be great.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. This has been Trek Talk with Tech and Kirk. I'm TechMan16.
And I'm StrangeKirk.
And I'm Lord Farquaad.
There you go. We'll see you guys next time.